What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda. Now, I hadn't planned on doing anything today. It was scheduled to be my day off, but there are two pieces of news that have fallen into the Liverpool sphere today, and I've got to bring them to you. One of them, of course, around Jude Bellingham, another one about potential investment. So I'm going to go through them really quickly and just give you guys an update on where we stand. Now, look, you know the drill by now. You're probably sick of me saying it, but I want you to give me your thoughts in the comment section. Do drop a like on the video, and of course, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we really would love you to do that. So look, I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to get straight into it with the Jude Bellingham talk first. And again, this comes out of Germany, so I'm not asking you to believe anything I'm saying on this one. This is coming from the media. It said, according to a new report in Germany, Jude Bellingham is set to finally announce his future amid interest from Liverpool and Real Madrid. The 19-year-old England international is the number one target for Reds boss Jurgen Klopp, who are expected to go head-to-head with the 14-time European Cup winners Real Madrid as well as Manchester City. And then, according to a German publication, Rohr Nachrichten, and again, my German's terrible, but I think I did all right with that pronunciation, Bellingham has finally made a decision over his future, and that looks like it is going to be announced, according to these guys, relatively soon. Now look, Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti have started to distance themselves a little bit from this, so maybe they're getting the cold shoulder, maybe they're getting the news that we were saying to you yesterday, that Bellingham doesn't have an interest in a move to Real Madrid at this moment in time. So it looks like it is down to two, Liverpool and Manchester City. You know my thoughts, you know why and where I think Jude will end up, but I'm interested to know if there's anybody watching this video who thinks genuinely that Manchester City are going to gazump Liverpool and sign Bellingham, because from me, if you don't watch the live streams, I'll give you a synopsis of why I don't think Bellingham is a good candidate, or City is a good candidate for Bellingham, I should say. We know that there's 101 charges or so that Manchester City have to answer around financial irregularities or concerns. And I don't think that Bellingham's representatives or his family or his friends in good conscience could say to him, Jude, move to Manchester City, because you don't know what's going to happen. Look, I know everybody believes that it's going to be a slap on the wrist and a fine, but you can't say that factually. You can't mess around with somebody's career until that is sorted. So I'd be absolutely flabbergasted if they were really even in the competition or in the race to sign Jude Bellingham. For me, this is just a matter of when the announcement to Liverpool is going to come about, or when Jude announces that that is his chosen destination. Again, if you go to Manchester City and let's say some of them charges do stick, and let's say they do get into a bit of trouble, even with just a points deduction and a fine, that is not going to look great on his legacy, on some of the other City players' legacies, and of course on brand deals, sponsorships and stuff like that. When you are a potential future England captain, when you are the prodigy of Europe, when you are talked about as one of the potentially greatest midfielders of your generation, you want to keep squeaky clean, right? You want to make sure that everything is as it should be and that nothing will spoil your legacy. That's before we even get into the fact that, like, listen to the man's own words. He speaks about the relationship with the fans. He speaks about wanting to look back when he's got grandkids and talk about what he's achieved and the bond that he had. Manchester City don't have that level of fandom. Manchester City don't have that aura that Liverpool have about them, that Manchester United would have about them, that Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich would have about them. They are nouveau riche, and they are exactly what you think they are and exactly what I think they are. So I don't think that they are contenders. Yes, they could splash the money around. Yes, they could pay more for Bellingham and in wages more than we could pay. But again, it is about the right move at the right time in his career. And I think that, this is it. This is where we're going to see Jude Bellingham be a Liverpool player. And I genuinely do believe as well that this is a big part of the reason why Jurgen Klopp extended his contract last year, to give that stability to any potential incoming superstars like Jude Bellingham, to know that you're going to be managed by Jurgen Klopp for the next couple of seasons at least. So look, now we move on to another story that, well, it isn't really a story, it's more just something coming from somebody on Twitter. Now normally I would say treat this with caution, but Alex Miller's pretty good about this type of stuff, and he said, a very reliable source tells me investment into Liverpool over the summer, no specifics of exactly when, looks like good news is on the way. And again, this is exactly what we need to hear, what we want to hear, because we do know it's going to be an expensive summer. And FSG and John W. Henry have openly said that, look, they're not looking to sell the club, but they are absolutely open to taking on a minority investment, a strategic partner. And I think this is what we will see. Now, I've nothing on this. I'm going basically off Alex, but I think this will It makes sense, right? It makes sense because we've wondered where FSG are going to get this money from because they don't like to take on debt to the club. And so if they can sell off some shares and put that money into reinvesting into the squad, I think that is really good news. And before I let you guys go tonight, there's a couple of other bits and pieces as well. Spanish journalist Sergio Santos has reportedly this morning said that Madrid are increasingly far from Bellingham, which could open the door for Liverpool to make a strong move in the summer, which again starts to kind of play into what we spoke about over the last 3 or 4 days, that this gap between Madrid and Bellingham seems to be growing and growing and growing. I have to admit that even I got a little bit nervy when I'd heard that his father sat down with Real Madrid in London when they were over playing in the Champions League recently, when Dortmund were over playing in the Champions League recently in the UK. That gave me a little bit nervy, but I guess he was just hearing them out because nothing changed from what I was told on my side. And now it's just a matter of, I guess, when we start to hear that Jude has chosen his club. Now, I wouldn't expect to hear something as straightforward as Jude's chosen Liverpool, that's where he's going, because the clubs have to agree. And unless that's been done behind the scenes, and I've no idea if it has or hasn't, I'm not even going to pretend to know that, because I've always been honest and said when it comes to the issue between the two clubs, when it comes to the fee, I'm not your man. But where his willingness was, where he wanted to go, that much information I told you I was concrete on. And I hope that I've backed up what I've said along the way. Before I finish, there is one more thing tonight, actually, and this is a potential move from one of our midfielders away from the club. It's not one of the ones you're probably thinking about. It is Thiago Alcantara. A report today that the Echo have put out, and I think the report itself comes from a Spanish publication, Dario AS. So they say Thiago Alcantara is reportedly on Barcelona's midfield shortlist ahead of next season, with Xavi said to be a huge admirer of his former Newcastle teammate. Now, he has about 18 months left on his Liverpool contract, meaning at the end of this season, he'll have 1 year to go. Personally, I'm absolutely fine with allowing him to run down that year, seeing how he gets on. If he has an amazing season, if he shows no injury concerns, and if he's back playing to his best, maybe Liverpool can talk about extending it by a year or two. But either way, I do think it's not a surprise to me that Barcelona are back interested in him because they do need that little bit of class. And I guess he probably still has a soft spot. And the idea of going to play under Xavi, I'm sure it would appeal to him. But there is the financial side of it, because if it is, as this article suggests, a deal that Barcelona want to get done in this summer, I can't see a way that Liverpool would let Thiago leave without. I would suggest we want more than we paid for the player when we signed him from Bayern Munich in a similar position, because he is going to be important for us next season. He's not going to be a starter every week for me, but I wouldn't sell him before I'd let him run down his deal. I would let 1 year run down on his contract. So that is where we are at, my friends. And of course, we will be doing a watch along of the Arsenal game on Sunday from 3:30 p.m. over on our Twitch channel. You will find a link to that in the description of this video. So again, let me know your thoughts on the Bellingham situation, the investment situation, and anything else that you would like to share and vent. The floor is yours. I will chat to you on Sunday, my friends. Much love. Bye-bye.